Good morning.
Good morning. Last week we talked about arguing for your limitations, and I gave the example of this woman, let's just call her Carol, who through Facebook Messenger was defending her belief that she's ill. And I'd like to talk about how we get ill and how she's stuck, because I think all of us are stuck in some area.
Yeah.
And so if we could get the picture behind the picture,
Right.
and understand how did we get there in the first place? How did we get in this box that I'm contained in and wanting to stay within?
Yeah.
It might be helpful.
Yeah. So let's start from a spiritual place. So you as a spiritual person, I give this example often, but I'll use it again. So walking down the street, I'm happy. I'm in a great space. I'm in ease. Everything is fine. And I see this person, and they step up to me, and they kind of point, and they say, "Oh, you have such a funny nose." Non-statement. However, haven't thought about this since I was 3 years old. When I was 3 years old, my nose was bigger than my head. And everybody used to point and laugh. Now, if you think about it, you've got a story somewhere like that in your reality. Some one little memory shows up. And as soon as that person points, without any thought, you go into a thought that says, oh no, this isn't good. So you're in a state of ease, and you immediately drop into a mental state of something's wrong. And so technically you're in a state of, you move into a state from ease to big hyphen ease. Something's wrong. But the way the mental emotional body works is you tie an emotion to a thought. We do this all the time unconsciously. And in this case, it's like there's something wrong. Ooh, this isn't good. And the hyphen just got a lot smaller. Dis-ease. This is not good. I'm concerned. This is not good.
And there's a level of closing down.
And you shut down, and the body tightens up. And a lot of times, as a little kid, maybe, that person's pointing at your nose and pointing at your nose. You never come out of that state of dis-ease. But taking it another step to this woman who's ill, in a way, or a lot of people who are literally ill, is they hold on to the belief I'm not okay. And eventually that tightness gets to the point where the hyphen breaks, the hyphen goes away, and the word is disease. I'm not okay, I'm not okay. We talk ourselves into not okay. But in the case of the funny nose, what the person was saying is, oh, I see you just ate some chocolate ice cream. That's really cute, your funny nose. And they keep walking. Sound familiar? How many times have you had a funny nose and you're all tightened and bound up by this horrible thing that just happened? And if you were to say it to the person, you told me I had a funny nose when I was 4 years old, they would swear up and down, I never did that. Mm-hmm. And they don't remember it because it was a non-thing. We make it a non-thing. We make it a thing out of a non-thing. Yeah. So where we were talking last week about the picture behind the picture, the perfect example. So are you really ill? Well, actually, yes and no. Do you have to be ill? No. Do you believe you're ill, and that law of attraction that says what you put your attention on is what you create begins to be reality?
A thought I just had is, as an example too, is when we're off balance. This is kind of a simplistic way of saying it. Sure. When we're off balance, there's a tendency for something to happen to our bodies. So you fall down, you bump into something, you hurt yourself somehow because your mental emotional body is off balance, it's not aligned.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, as a spiritual body, it's not dense. It's very light and flexible, and things move around. But then as you go down to mental, emotional, physical, it just gets really dense.
More rigid and more rigid.
And the body starts, the physical body is a reflection of all that other stuff that went on. It's not like, oops, I fell down. There was much leading up to that. There was much leading up to an illness or a...
Sure. And there's another whole component to this too, is if you really get into present time where you're listening to people and you watch people, they're not in present time. Mm-hmm. And to a great extent, they're not in their bodies. And what I mean by that is, let's say you are walking along and somebody jumps out and screams at you. Or somebody doesn't jump out, somebody screams at you as a little kid. And you get knocked out of your body. You just can't handle it. Yeah. That's what we do. And then they go away and things calm down and you start to relax and come back into the body. But the thing is, where you just got knocked out and where their energy is in that space, it's not cleaned out. And so you get knocked out and then you come back to almost where you were. And then you get yelled at and you come back to almost where you are. And if you watch a lot of people, they're walking around unconscious of this, that belief, I'm not okay, I'm sick, I don't deserve, I'm not a good person. All of that is sitting in this accumulated energy field that we don't get back to our natural state of well-being. And so, going back to last week, the picture behind the picture, quite often the picture, we have the belief of X, but when you can stop and say, is it really X? Or like we suggested last week, just look at X and what other words revolve around X. All of a sudden you start to have these little fleeting memories. Oh wow, I didn't think about that for years. Well, that's the place that knocked you out of the body, that holds the tension, that doesn't allow the physical body to go back into ease. And you watch mechanics in terms of physical mechanics, and you get these huge weights that are levered. There's something holding this and something holding this. And you get right down to the very last thing, and you take a little tiny pin and you stick it through a hole, and that holds up 500 pounds of weight. That one little pin, because it's all leveraged, one against the other. And so here's this non-event, this non-thing. My mother told me I had a funny nose. Well, she may have said it the first time I ate chocolate ice cream also. And that was the event. In fact, nobody yelled at me and said I had a funny nose. In fact, maybe I didn't have a nose bigger than my head. I created that whole illusion. And that's, to a great extent, the picture behind the picture. So the value right now is we wind up a lot of times arguing for these limitations because they keep us safe.
Well, and it's who we believe we are.
Yeah, but we do it to keep me okay. I don't want that to happen again. And so here's this little tiny linchpin holding all this. I don't want to do that again. But if you could see, it's this little tiny thing that's holding the cancer in place. That's a big deal. And if you, right now, and I say this over and over with these changes in this time, the opportunities are far greater to heal yourself, to make transition, to begin to find your dreams and your hopes and the things that you want that you don't even remember you want. That's available now. But my problem is...
That little pin.
My problem is, if you don't understand, I'm sick. Okay. If you believe it is, or you believe it isn't, you're correct. And this is the opportunity to basically look at what's the picture behind the picture, to begin to realize it never happened that way 99 out of 100 times. And that one time, it didn't happen that way either. There was just a reflection of what you think really happened. Very interesting what we do to ourselves, but it is very opportunistic now to change it.